It is a glorious spring night on the OU campus, Norman, Oklahoma, and another full house inside Marita Hines Stadium. And why not? The second-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, rare home appearance this year, taking on the Baylor Bears. It is week number 3 of Big 12 conference play. It is Military Appreciation Night in Norman. The big flag in the outfield. We talked about a perfect night for this game. 74 degrees, low humidity, a little bit of wind blowing left to right. They have partly cloudy skies, a beautiful sunset. Here are the umpires, Christopher Thomas behind the plate, Danny Bowman at first, James Colsey at third. And, of course, in the circle for the Sooners, G. Juarez, transfer from Arizona State, from the Valley of the Sun, had an incredible year at ASU, 22-6. They go to the College World Series. And, of course, who did she lose to at the series? Oklahoma. As a Sooner, she's 14-0, 79 in the third innings, and part of a pretty incredible rotation with Mariah Lopez and Shannon Sale, who is usually the closer. She'll get a start every now and then just to shake things up. And here's Nikki Dawson, your leadoff hitter. 352. Fourth best streak in Baylor history, reaching base again in 32 games, and she's a threat once she gets on. 8 stolen bases.
Juarez was such a great get for Oklahoma. Proven winner. She made a lot of noise when she was at Arizona State, and you're going to see her use her curveball a lot. She'll throw the rise ball in there, but just a veteran, a seasoned pitcher that has a lot of savvy, good mound presence. And she comes to Oklahoma, has the opportunity to work with one of the best pitching coaches in the nation, in the game. That's Jim Rocha. And a very bright future for her. She's really taken advantage of it this year, and you see that reflected in that undefeated season.
Jen Rocha, of course, a lot of history as a Sooner, but spent the last 13 years at Florida polishing up that pitching staff, doing a great job. And when Coach Lombardi moved on to be the head coach at Oregon this year, Pedigasso, Jennifer Rocha reconnect, and it was sort of like it was meant to be. And Jennifer also the assistant head coach, too, so she has a pretty top role in the hierarchy here. Dawson doing a good job at keeping the count going to 2-2. Juarez will not throw super heat all night long, but she'll put that ball all over the place, make you make decisions.
Love the strikeout pitch. She's in a good place in the count. She throws this ball down and out. That curveball breaking away. Nice job behind the plate as well to stick that pitch and get strike 3.
Here's Anna Watson up to the number 2 spot, 275 hitter. Good extra base player, 6 doubles, home run. Having a great conference season. She's hitting 368 in conference games. Puts that into play. 2 down quickly. And Watson making contact of a 2 spot. Here's that Sooner defense, and this infield is pretty impressive. Romero's at third. Lyons at short, and the very talented Kaylee Clifton at second base. Youngster behind the plate is Lindsey Elam, the sophomore. Now, number 3 hitter for Baylor is Cassidy Crumpet. Freshman from Suwanee, Georgia, has a lot of future, already in the USA program. 7 homers, 22 RBIs. She's going for the downs there. Juarez just teases you with those balls up high. She has such great movement. She'll bring it inside and it rises. And you saw the strikeout pitch breaking to the corner. And there's a nice corner there to end the inning. 2 strikeouts. 1 looking. Ends the top of the first. Sooners coming to bat. They've got G. Sooner fans happy. Their team's up in the bottom of the first inning. No score with the Baylor Bears. Patty Gasso rolling along, year 25 here in Norman. 11-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, 1,235 career wins, 4 College World Series championships. And looking forward to hosting a regional and hopefully a super regional this year. Here's your lineup, and this has become pretty much the lineup through the middle part of the season. The little difference tonight, the bottom 3 flipped a little bit with Grace Lyons up in the 7th spot, but this first 4 is just sick. 4 straight seniors to open up. And here's Sydney Romero, who we talked about, top of the show. Takes a pitch inside from the Iron Woman of the Baylor pitching staff, Sydney Holman, the sophomore. Transferred from Abilene Christian this year. Actually transferred after a year sitting out. And she is now throwing in her 116th inning. There's Romero's basic numbers, but she's got plenty. 13 homers, 34 RBIs. She's slugging .885.
She's career high in slugging and average this season. It's so exciting to watch what she's doing. Coach Gasso talked to us about her earlier in the week, and she said, you know, you really can't say enough about her, and the thing that really stood out for her that we touched on in the open is just the fact of the leadership and how she's matured and really taken on that role with ease, truly, this season. And that's always fun to see players step into that.
Well, it's interesting to take somebody who you think would be a 3, 4, or 5, who drives in so many runs, gets the ball to the outfield for extra base hits. You're leading off with this player. It's an in-play to center. That is deep. That's over the head of Maddie O'Neill. Off the wall. This will go for at least 2. Romero digging for 3, and she's in. What do we say? You put the ball to the outfield, and you make the outfielders work. O'Neill, the youngster, was playing in a bit in center.
Watch Sydney Romero. She never takes it for granted. She's hustling the whole way. You see her eyeing the play as she's approaching second base, and that's what told her, I'm going for third.
And again, that's the difference maker. You're a doubles hitter, you get the extra base out of that. That's why she's in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, she was just watching how quickly O'Neill was chasing that ball, bouncing off the fence, and just seeing how far she was still away from it. So that's instinctive.
Now Folly of You is up, the senior from Oceanside, San Diego territory. Hard smash to short. Holds the runner, 1 out. Nice play by Dawson. Avu's got an 11-game hit streak, bouncing back nicely in her senior year. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Kaylee Clifton, senior from Wayne, Oklahoma. And so again, here's somebody who's great at getting on base. .542 on base percentage, drawn 22 walks more than anybody, and you can put her in the 3 spot.
Clifton's another one of that, the group of that senior class that started their careers with nothing less than winning national champions as freshmen and sophomores. So just another player that Coach Gasso can really rely on. She talks about her leadership on the field, not afraid to speak up ever and kind of show the way. And I tell you, that says so much out of that senior class.
Play made it right by Josie Bauer, and the run will score, so there's 2 outs. But the Sooners are on the board. Sac fly for Clifton. And here's the Bears defense. We talked about Byro just made that play. Josie Bauer is out in right field. O'Neill in center. Watson and this infield. Crumpet and Dawson. Pretty solid left side. The big change is behind the plate, where Taylor Ellis having to move from shortstop with yet another injury suffered this week by Tyler Trott, the freshman, who had taken over the starting job.
I tell you, that's not a transition that you usually see, is that your shortstop go to catch. But Ellis has that versatility.
And she has caught at some point in her career.
And she's a good catcher. She does a great job back there. It's not a compromise.
Shane Knighton, the DP. The play to short. Well, Dawson's doing just fine there. It's 2 putouts to end the inning. But the Sooners strike first. 1-0 after 1 in Norman. Well, the series between these two teams goes back further than this little one has been around. This is meeting number 74, maybe? Why, yes, it is. Sooners won the last 6, and of course they met in the finals of the Big 12 tournament last year as that returned to OKC. Baylor's the last team to beat Oklahoma in a Big 12 game almost 2 years ago. Glenn Moore's done a few things with the Baylor Bears, and keeping that attitude up, says this team loves playing together. And frankly, they still have a chance to make the tournament with their schedule. They're 67th in the RPI. They'd have to do some things down the stretch here, but they got conference games.
Well, I think the thing that you have to keep in mind if you're Baylor is the fact that it's the conference tournament winner that gets the automatic berth. So, you know, it's kind of, even if you fall below 500, which would technically make you ineligible for an at-large berth, if you can get hot, get healthy.
You can get it done in 2 days.
Yes.
That tournament. Bruce McGlon, the hitter, leading hitter on this team at 370. Slugging 5-11, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. Good at getting on base, but she's in the 4 spot. She drives, runs in. Junior from Humble. Looks at strike 3. Appeal? Yes, it is. Christopher Thomas looks at Danny Bowman down the line. Strikeout number 3 for G.
Juarez just looks like she has tremendous command today. You look at her hitter locations, she's working the count, she's where she needs to be, and then she's just threading the needle on these strike 3s and doing exactly what she wants.
The versatile Taylor Ellis moved from shortstop to catcher. Waco kid out of that great Midway Little League program. Saw her play in the Little League World Series back in her 11, 12-year-old days. The tournament's been at Portland, Oregon for a couple of decades. That's when Midway brought enough kids that their second team was good enough to win in the World Series. Behind 0-2. Makes contact. That is trouble to left. Aviu to the wall, and it's gone. Taylor Ellis goes yard for the 3rd time this year, her 11th RBI, and we are level at 1.
This is a backdoor curve. Whereas threw it the pitch before, it was off the plate and broke on, and that one just looked like it got a little bit more, and Ellis said hello. It was in her sweet spot. Takes it out of here.
That's exactly it. You position that about 6 inches further outside. She can't push it over the fence. With good recognition. Now a slap attempt trying to get on. Long wait. And that is out number 2. Quick glove by Romero.
We talk a lot about the offense of Romero. But she's flashing some leather there and just some athleticism. You see her, watch her scramble to get this ball, throw it on the run. She knows she's against somebody that's fast. It's a pretty play right there.
And O'Neill did a good job of disguising what she was going to do on that swing. So we get a little meeting here with 2 outs. And, of course, this is part of the quality control of Patty Gasso. Any little thing happens, going to have a discussion. Now she's out in the left field talking to Aviu. And you wonder, did Aviu ding something leaping at the fence on the home run.
They obviously saw something that was maybe not 100% with a view, and that could be that she makes an aggressive chase right there, and you see her halfway up.
Yeah.
Spikes on padding, that doesn't always work out perfectly.
And it was that right. You saw her flex that foot a little bit. 2 down of a second for Baylor. Here's Kendall Cross, the DP. Freshman from Friendswood, Texas, Houston area. 2 for 12 this season. It's her 10th game, 3rd start. She was all Greater Houston. Plays for the Texas Storm. G tries to make a reach for that. 1-1. You know, it's the beauty of watching Juarez. Guessing what she's thinking as she works all the corners.
Well, she just has excellent command. And you have to, in this game you have to, and I think it's one of the things that the casual viewer sometimes cannot appreciate, and that is that if you miss a pitch by an inch or 2, you're going to pay. And we saw Ellis do that just a couple hitters ago, just a hair off. Juarez moved that over maybe 3 inches from where the previous pitch was, got a little too much on the plate, and these hitters are so talented and so powerful. It can put a run on the board just like that.
1-2 with 2 outs. And another called strike 3. 3rd of the game, 4th total strikeout. But Baylor goes yard and evens things up. 1.5 in the books in Norman. 1-1. 5-6-7 due up for Oklahoma here in the second. Grace Grain, Jocelyn Allo, and Grace Lyons facing the arm of steel, Sydney Holman.
I think one of the advantages of Holman is she throws a lot of screwballs. She throws the ball down and she mixes it with a changeup. So those pitches, a screwball coming in on the hands of a righty, the drop ball can help you keep the ball in the park, and then just mixing the speeds up. And then if she just cuts it loose, she throws very fast. She rings 70 typically. And one of the things that the coaching staff talks about, that kind of goes with just her attitude and her willingness to be out there all the time, is her stamina, that she can throw inning after inning, and you don't see that top speed falter much.
Green waves at that one, 1-2. And the only drawback of that is, and with an inexperienced team, you get a lot of well-hit ground balls that now your infield has to handle.
Yeah, that's true. The ball is in place, and you need to play defense.
Just like that, Hannah Smith, 1 away. That's Hannah Smith, a freshman at second base today. Hitter is Jocelyn Allo in right field, sophomore from the North Shore of Oahu. Good extra base hitter. 9 doubles this year, 26 RBIs. Had been in the leadoff spot earlier in the year and hit a little bit of a slump, and she has been revived. Been sitting in the 6th spot. These first 6 spots in the order have been pretty dialed in now for a couple of weeks.
I'm going to tell you something, though. Having a low sitting in the 6th spot for OU just shows you the depth of this lineup and how, as a pitcher, you're just not going to get a lot of breaks. There's nowhere to take a breath.
And she has got some pop. 1-1. She has 6 home runs, but at this point last year, she had 16.
Well, I think the other thing that you see on that is just the fact that they're scouting now. You know, everybody is trying to find holes, trying to find her weaknesses. She has the pressure of coming off an amazing freshman campaign. But at the end of the day, she's a tough hitter. She's a tough one to get by, and she's sitting in that 6-hole.
She waved big at that one down low. Let's see what she gets at 1-2. And staying outside. A little contact keeps it alive, but
See Holman stay away from that power. Down and away, trying to nibble at that outside corner.
And again, keeping it low, 2-2. But she's ahead in the count. Got some options. Hello, all Big 12 a year ago after that freshman campaign. And that is well hit, but it is high in the air to left. And Watson puts it away. There's 2 down. Hitter will be Grace Lyons, the shortstop. You know, it's interesting to hear Coach Glenn Moore talk about Holman. She was not recruited heavily out of Belton, Texas, and you know, I asked Glenn, I said, well, was she on your radar? He goes, no, we missed her. He said, people didn't get that she was Division I player. She goes to Abilene Christian, has a massive freshman year, and you know, she's killing it there, and then she decides to leave. Sat last year, and then made herself, you know, I don't know what, not if she quite knocked on the door, but she made herself known, and has been a great pickup, and especially with the other injuries this year to Gia Radone and Reagan Green. And she's holding down the fort in the circle.
Yeah, Radone, the senior that everybody expected so much from, is out for the season completely. And then Green, we hear, is hopeful to come back in a couple of weeks. Does not want to take the red shirt, which could be an option, the medical red shirt for her, but does not want to do that. Wants to come back and try to finish the season and help this team.
And with Donnie's surgery back last fall, so they knew she wasn't going to be available.
Brittany Newman, a lot of you would remember her, Brittany Sneed Newman, her 16th season for Baylor as a pitching coach, and she's certainly had her work cut out for her as well. It's a challenge, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of perspective over there in that Baylor dugout. They talk about, you know, a lot of people will give lip service, hey, we're going to try to, you know, embrace this situation and all of that, but got a chance to talk to Coach Newman and Coach Moore before the game, and they both said the same sentiment, and that is that, you know, there's challenges everywhere. They're making the best of this. They're going to continue to play as good and as effective of softball as they possibly can. And along the way, they are going to talk about the life lessons that this really reflects.
Lindsay Elam, the sophomore from Chickasha, 259 hitter, 2 homers, 16 RBIs. The crowd does not like the call of the pitch. Runner at first, Lions, 5 stolen bases this year. There she goes. Well hit, right field line, foul. Lions again, the freshman from the Phoenix area. She drew that walk. She does a pretty good job getting on base. She leads the team in being hit by pitches this year as well. You on 0-2. Elam smashes it. to the middle. No one can make a play, and there's 2 on with 2 out.
It's just a hard hit ball back up the middle by Elam. Holman does a nice job to get the glove on it, period. That's a base hit.
Stepping to the plate now for Oklahoma, center fielder Nicole Mendez.
Coach Gasso told us that the power is reflected better this year up and down the lineup, and certainly the balance is noticeable up and down the lineup from a year ago, and you're seeing it right now. Lions led off, started this rally at the 7th spot. Elam comes right behind her, so this is 7, 8, 9 you're looking at now after the pop fly from a low to start the inning.
Mendez had a grand slam at Utah on Sunday.
I think when it comes down to championship, I think you're only as good as the bottom half of your order. And I think if that is a weakness of your team consistently, it's going to catch up with you.
So again, we have this little bit of a shuffle. 7, 8, 9 reversed. Right in the dirt. Runners well off the bases. 3-0. Well, you don't want to get in trouble with 2 outs with the bottom of the order because Romero's on deck. Lions at second, Elam at first. 3-0 with 2 out in the second. Taking all the way. Of course, the infield's in. We got play everywhere in the infield. So Holman will be happy with anything on the ground. Mendez looks at strike 2. And she gave all the leverage right back to Holman now. See if she brings the heat. Just missed the corner. We're loaded. Top of the order up. It was a pretty good pitch.
Well, you see Holman is trying to be super fine, trying to make sure she works the edges. She realizes the lineup, the potential of this lineup, and you know, you just want to make sure you're not too fat with the pitches. And unfortunately for Holman, she's got the bases loaded and facing the top of this order.
Yeah, we're in the danger zone. Sydney Romero at the plate, tripled and scored in the first. It's 1-0. And you notice Taylor Ellis behind the plate tried to help her, kept her hand completely steady. She did have to rotate the glove, but anything to convince the umpire the ball's in the right spot. 2 out. Yeah, this is how dangerous Romero is. She's hitting .500 with the bases loaded. So it's a 50-50 chance something's going to happen. Right through the middle. Score 1. Score 2. Sooners take the lead with a 2-out rally, and now going to third. And there's the final out as Mendez is caught trying to grab the extra base. But Romero gets it done with a 2 RBI single. She got 2 hits, scored 1, driven in 2, and the Sooners take the lead.
You know what? I think, you know, a lot of times you're wrapped up in the moment, but this intense play for the freshman of Baylor is going to pay off. Somewhere down the line, that's going to pay off. The at-bats, the defense, just the game experience. They've been kind of thrown into the deep end a little bit, but in the long run, it's going to be a really good thing.
This is Josie Bauer from Spring, Texas. 220 hitter, 4 RBIs. She's getting a pretty good look at DP. Glenmore likes her there. You know, that's one of these fundamental things they've been working on with all young players. As a good example, you're squaring around. You don't want the bunt in the air. That's something they work on every day. Now a stroke in the infield, but an easy play.
Baylor, second baseman, Hannah Smith.
Hannah Smith, the hitter. Sophomore. I think I called her a freshman earlier. She is a sophomore. Kansas City. Two-time All-State at Stanley High. Played quite a bit this year. This is her 21st start, 4 RBIs. The 1-2. Waved at up high. And to the top of the order here, Nikki Dawson.
Top of the order for Baylor, shortstop Nikki Dawson.
Upstairs, you're going to see G go up there a lot. She's really comfortable with that rise ball. And she gets herself in a good spot. You talk about go-to pitches. She's got a couple. Doesn't mind throwing the curve. Very comfortable throwing the backdoor curve. That means the ball's going to start out of the zone and just come in enough to nip that corner.
Nice play from over at third. Guess who? Sydney Romero. 1-2-3. Top of the third. Baylor trailing 3-1. First, but check out some of these career numbers of the top 4 in the lineup.
I just think it's so impressive that you're seeing these seniors who have accomplished so much not blink in their senior season. Sometimes players get ready to be done and they sort of just coast out, and Coach Gasso was quick to tell us that not this group. They are on fire and they are leading this team, and it's a unique positioning for them to be 1 through 4 in this lineup.
See Romero there in the dugout. Avu takes outside, 1-0. Avu, Clifton, Knighton.
Avu by far having a record-setting season for her personally.
Deep at second base, Smith. One away. Well, they kept Smith busy at second base, and sophomores responded nicely. Now Holman faces Clifton for the first time. Sac fly in the first inning drove in the first run, scoring Romero. See what Holman is, just all around the edges. She's making some good-looking pitches, but talk about those 3 inches one way or the other.
She's getting a ton of experience. Talk about that. Just a sophomore.
2-0.
Look at Kaylee Clifton sitting in this 3 spot for OU, and She leads the team in on-base percentage, something that's not unusual for her, but she's 30 points higher than the next closest person. Just finds a way to get on base.
There's that inside corner, 2-1. And, you know, you saw in those career numbers the 59 hit by pitches. We're not making fun of that. That's get on base.
Yep. That's right. Just figure it out. That's a good-looking screwball right there. Fundamentally solid. See Holman step away and run that ball in the inside corner.
Holman's going to benefit from all these innings this year. There's the paw that got wanged on Sunday at Kansas. Again, it was just below the pinky where she took that line drive. Glenn Moore estimated that ball was coming back at her at about 100 miles an hour. That is well hit to right center. Top of the wall. Extra bases for Clifton. She's got two. Here comes third. She is in. Ball gets away, but she'll hold. Second triple of the game for the Sooners. Runner at third, one out.
Clifton does a really nice job getting into this ball. Hits it a long way and then just hustles it out. We saw Romero do this earlier. They're getting a bounce off that wall, off the padding. They take a real good look going around second base and stretch it out. But the big play right here is Holman. Look at her at the backup spot. Clifton takes a look. Had there been no one there, had Holman fumbled it, maybe she goes. It's a great, and you know what? It's hard to do. Somebody pounds a ball that you just threw in. It's hard to think of, I'll go over here and fulfill this job and be in a backup. But Holman, great hustle, great positioning, and probably saved a run for herself right there.
Clifton now 10 for her last 16. Pretty meaty 6-game hitting streak. Here's Knighton, who, by the way, you may have noticed this kind of slipped by us last inning. Shea Knighton's now playing first base. She started as DP. Put into play by second base. That's going to roll the way to the wall, and that's going to be extra bases. Clifton scores, RBI double for Knighton.
Coaches talk all the time about timely hitting, having runners in scoring position, having the possibilities to put runs on the board, and taking advantage of it. And you just see Shea Knighton step up as the veteran that she is right here and pick up Clifton 60 feet away.
So here's Grace Green, who started at first base and is now the DP. Grounded out to open the second inning. And it looks like we're going to have a change at first base for Baylor.
Well, they took Goose McGlawn off first base. Now, lately, McGlawn has pitched for Baylor, and I think what they're doing, and you're seeing it now, she's going to the bullpen. It looks like she would be the choice for relief, and Coach Moore is at least considering it. He's at least thinking about it. She just has 8 innings on the season, but especially lately, they've started thinking about using her. She threw some last year. Not her primary position, but a Baylor team that's down, had an unbelievable amount of hard luck and injuries this season, is kind of in an all-hands-on-deck mentality at this point.
So Kendall Cross goes in at first. Cross started as DP. So there's something you don't see every game. Both first basemen swapped out in the first 3 innings.
I like how you're keeping track of those little nuggets.
You know, a lifetime of scorekeeping. That is well hit by Gracie. Nabbed by Bauer. Going to third is Knighton. 2 down, runner at third. This brings up Jocelyn Allo, who flew out to left field in the second inning. Allo put the ball to the outfield once. You can see how the sun at this point, in the batter's eyes as it sets to the west, it's setting almost directly down the third baseline. Our home plate camera not crazy about that either. For a left-hander, it'd be really challenging right now. That's in the dirt. Won't get away far enough for Knighton to do anything. And now a little chat.
Good call by Ellis, I think, at this point, to just go out, settle it down a little bit, talk to Holman. Holman's trying to vary the speeds a little bit more. Actually, the pitch calling is coming in from Newman in the dugout, but just trying to do anything you can, interrupt the timing, try to limit this offensive run that OU is capable of kind of getting out of control with.
Allo hits this one high, deep, gone over the right center bleachers. A monster 240-foot shot. And there's the power of Jocelyn Allo. Home run number 7 of the year.
Talked about it in their last at bat. This is a hitter with this kind of power. Look at that one more time. That is a down and out pitch. That is a low outside pitch. She hits opposite field with power and takes it out of here. And that hitter is sitting in the 6th hole. So you talk about scary, intimidating lineups. Anytime you see a low in the bottom part of the order, look again at location. Down and away. This pitch is away from her power zone, and that's just good, solid hitting right there. She takes that one a long way.
She didn't even really get all the bat on it and still went that yard. There's Grace Lyons. Walked and scored him a second. I guess the little things, that work you do in the cage. You know, you're not going to get, you don't want everything perfect in BP. You're not going to get pitches like that in the game. Lyons puts this in the air. A little trouble in short right. And coming on to make the play is Bauer. Bauer's showing some nice glove in right field today. Sooners strike for 3 more. End of 3. 6-1. Boomer Sooner. Her surgery, knee surgery in the preseason. They knew Kyla Walker was going to be out. But then we get into the season. Madison Kettler had an arm injury, thought, okay, she can play. No, they shut her down with the shoulder in February. And then in basically the same week in March, Hannah Thompson and Reagan Green, and with both of them they discover rib injuries like stress fractures, which is unusual, but enough to keep out. Now those two they could get back, particularly Reagan Green, who they really want back in the circle.
When you think about it, this Baylor team, since 2007, they've made 4 Women's College World Series appearances. That's second only to OU in the Big 12. So it's a quality team. Coach Moore, it's a team I think that you can never count out. They perform well in postseason, but it's unbelievable. Those players that you saw listed on the screen, they're all key players.
Heading into the bullpen, Jocelyn Allo takes it away from Cassidy Crumpet. Quickly, 2 down in the 4th.
Lowe's happy about this because she ran a long way for that. It's a nice little catch in the corner. Those are important outs. You get a fly ball, you want it to land in leather, regardless of where it is.
And again, just another one of the little things Patty looks at. Don't let it drop foul. Get the out. Now here's the Goose, who's probably going to go into the circle next inning. Okay, trivia time. Her real first name? Anyone? Shelley. But she doesn't like being called Shelley.
I think there's a lot of stuff in Goose. I like it.
And you got the Top Gun reboot Goose. Cool name again. Like a lot of nicknames, the name Goose comes from a childhood book. Good night, Goose. She's ahead 2-1. And Milan, best hitter on this team. Leaves at that, 2-2. Started every game this year. Now she threw on Tuesday. In fact, she got all the outs in the midweek game against Stephen F. Austin. There's your pitch signal from Jennifer Rocha. Just a bit outside. Full count. McGlone came in. They had freshman lefty Madison Lindsay start against Stephen F. Austin, and Rocky first. Bruce came in and finished it. She punches the ball to the left. Gets the runner on with 2 out.
That's a good fight right there by McGlone. She just worked the count. She looked bad on the changeup. Juarez fooled her completely on that. It didn't matter. She just stayed in there, and that's the quality of an outstanding hitter. Got behind in the count a bit and just protected the plate, hit the ball where it was pitched. That was an inside pitch. She pulled to left field.
Taylor Ellis, home run left in the second. And she puts it in the air again. Deep left center. That's 2 for 2 going yard. That one right at the top of the fence. Taylor Ellis. Oh, by the way, I'm playing out of position.
How about that? Taylor Ellis is seeing the ball so well. A lot of confidence. And, of course, a lot of power.
And that was even deeper than the last one. That's about 220. It's a nifty little 2-out rally. 4th home run of the year, 6th of her career. Here's Maddie O'Neill, center field. Rounded out to 3rd in the 2nd inning. Hit to short, playing in. Good play for Lions. Inning over. But the Bears not going quietly. 2 runs, 2 hits with 2 outs. 6-3 going to the bottom of the 4th. Oklahoma 6 runs on 6 hits through 3 innings. You want offense, you are in the right place. This Oklahoma team dominating the Big 12. But look at this. This is the NCAA ranking. And in runs scored, they're just 2nd to the #1 team in the country, UCLA.
So impressive, those numbers. You're looking at the guy right there that's responsible for leading the way offensively for this team. That's JT Gasso, Coach Gasso's son, who took on a big job a few years ago and coming in as the hitting coach of this team and the legacy that it has for offense and production. And I think a guy really wise beyond his years. He's very steady, much like his mom. Good, steady mentality. And I asked him, they were so good last year, and they're just a tick better this year. And I said, hey, what do you think that is about? And he said, you know, we're really just trying to not pay a lot of attention to the numbers. We're trying to celebrate the process. We hit the ball hard. We're happy about it. And we're trying to have good game plans. and make good adjustments along the way. So
now we should point out that Holman stayed in. She got the pinch hitter to fly out. That was Elia Flores, the sophomore. And now here's Mendez. Got to back away from the plate. See, now the sun, it's not quite down, but it's dropped behind some clouds to the west, so she's not looking straight into it in the left-hander's box. And our video engineer is very happy about that. Waves at it, trying to square. 2-1. So we're 8-9-1. Romero is on deck. And the happy dugout. Count even. So McGlon did not go back into the game after being replaced at first. So I'm guessing she is a standby arm. Holman seems to have it back together. Nice grab at third for the out. Well played by Caput.
I'll tell you.
Sorry, Krupit.
They call that the hot corner, and Krupit shows off right here. Not only is that fast, but it's to her backhand. She protects the line well and gets the out.
Now springs up Romero. 2 outs, nobody on. A new life for Holman. She hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Now she's getting ahead on these counts. That's the difference from the earlier innings. The Sooners helping her out, being pretty free swinging.
Well, I think what you find out with the disciplined batting lineup is that they know the zone, and they're not going to fish. They're not going to go off. They're not going to give you any freebies. And so that's not what you want as a pitcher. You'd like for them to be kind of just free swinging in there. But disciplined lineup will tell you as a pitcher you have to come into the zone more.
Fights that off, staying alive at 0-2. Romero 2 for 2, tripled and scored in the first. Single drove in 2 runs in the second, and then was left stranded when Mendez was caught going to third. Fights it off inside. Holman challenging the hitters in this frame. And in the end, it's another ball over the outfield bleachers. Second long bomb of the game. Romero 3 for 3, and it's 7-3.
This is called having a day. Look at the lock of Sydney Romero. That actually was a changeup. And you see the smile come across her face about 5 steps down the first baseline. She knew it, and so did a park full of people. Wow.
Robust. It's a well-prepared fan there. The curtain call. You know, I hope they have kids with gloves running around outside the stadium, or we might run out of balls. Here's a view. Grounded out twice.
So Aview's having a career year as a senior. She's changed her grip a little bit. You take a look, she's got a split grip. JT Gasso said she thought of that herself. She came in and has worked really hard. Stuck to the plan and likes the power that that split grip is giving her. Said she's staying through the ball better because of that. So it's kind of a personal preference. You'll see a few hitters go with that style.
So I wonder what that conversation is that has everyone smiling. That's one of those, because he's a hitting coach, he found something to pick at, and she's kind of tossing it back at him a little bit.
She's saying, this is fun, isn't it? And he's saying, yeah, I love it.
Well, she was great with 2 strikes in that at-bat. So Holman will again not have a 1-2-3 inning. Rope to center. O'Neill has it. Side retired. Another one. Clears the fence. Oklahoma leads 7-3 after 4. That's one of those. That's one of those things as a sports fan you should go to. Good first swing. That is just foul. It's Kendall Cross, Josie Bauer, Hannah Smith's scheduled here in the 5th.
I got to say this, as a softball fan, one of the things that I love is this sellout. And we talked about it all week. Florida State playing Florida. There were 2 chairs, 2 seats open midday. I think those prices got a little steep before the day was over. But look at this. There's not an open seat in here. It was projected, declared a sellout way in advance. Softball, a lot of people figuring it out.
Rounded to second. Well, Arizona got their new stadium this year, and they have been packing that in because the Cats are back. Or as Mike Kendra likes to say, well, we never left. But boy, they have got a pitching staff.
Yeah, they are. They're back. They're strong, and that stadium is beautiful. Something else, and they needed it. And I don't want to make anybody mad, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's time to have a new one right here. I've seen some amazing drawings. We need to stick a shovel in the ground.
There's a plan, and believe me, all these people would like to bring a friend.
That's right. Nobody should be turned away from the softball game.
And just for a little in-state envy, I got to look at the new baseball stadium they're building up in Stillwater, which is very impressive. So if those guys can do it.
Don't get me started.
And those guys are pretty good at softball, too. Swing for Bauer. Lined out to first in the 3rd inning.
Juarez is throwing that off speed with some really nice command. It's obviously very deceptive. You see the hitters way out in front.
Ball on the ground. Put out, goes to the catcher, Elam. And that is strikeout number 6. So the first 5 strikeouts were through 3 innings. And that is the first since for G.
And I'll tell you, the point that I always like to make, you hear us talk a lot about the greatness of Juarez and the high quality mentality that she has out there. But for young pitchers, you have to realize, you know, she's not flawless here. She's given up 3 runs. She's given up some long hits, some home runs. And part of learning to pitch is learning to bounce back and to stay even keeled and to go out there and throw the next pitch and be effective. And you're seeing Juarez just hang in there and battle through, and that's another test for pitchers. It's not easy to stand in that circle, and that's part of it.
Is this easier, building a pitching staff, not having, you got 3 good pitchers, not having 3 flamethrowers, having the variety?
Yeah, I think definitely a variety is always helpful. And speaking of amazing pitchers, there's one right there.
And a little bit of flame.
Oh, yeah. She's got it all. And I'll tell you, she's in the best shape of her life. She's obviously a professional player. She's a Team USA player. You're going to see her in Tokyo in 2020. There's no doubt about it. And she is lean. And she's better than she's ever been. And I love to see that. I love the opportunity for these players to continue playing, to see what their potential is going to be. Keilani Ricketts was fun to watch as a college player. She's fun to watch as a pro. She'll be exciting to watch as an Olympian.
She's one of the few 2-time National Players of the Year, part of the 2013 World Series champs. And this is obviously a colossal Olympics for the sport. And Japan is really embracing this, too. Japan, of course, loves ball and stick, and there are going to be some crowds at those games.
They're the defending champs.
Yes.
Speaking of change-ups.
More. Look at this. Leadoff hitter goes down. Dawson's now 0 for 3. And the G just keeps coming.
Yeah, they're kind of jockeying in position. They're the #1 team, and according to the polls, Oklahoma nipping at their heels.
And you take UCLA, Oklahoma, Florida State. Everyone's beating each other this year, too. You know, you look at these teams, and, you know, again, they're all going to be hosting regionals. Alabama. It'll be interesting if Alabama and Tennessee both host. Washington. And the other thing is Washington with 3rd Pac-12. Pac-12's had multiple hosts before. And with Oregon not going to be in that position, Washington could be the 3rd team. Clifton leads off and is retired. Jay Knighton, the hitter. And that is a play by Hannah Smith, retreating into the outfield. Baylor has shown some glove tonight. And you can just tell, though, and Patty talks about this, first game of the series, everyone's really serious on Friday. Both these teams are. Knighton grounded out. Homered on the 3rd. Or scored on the homer, doubled and scored on Allo's home run. This one inside. You know, if you're not going to go down and get that ball, Holman's going to keep putting it there.
She has command. She locates the pitch as well. It's a long foul ball there, a lot of power. But I think Coleman does have command of her pitches.
Yes.
I think sometimes, like earlier in this game, what we saw was just, I don't think it was that she was not in control of the ball. I just think she was trying to get away with working the edge a little bit on the outside.
But, I mean, her decisions were good. She was going for the proper part of the plate. You're going to look at it, you've given up 7 hits and a couple of home runs, but I think she's thrown well. Even though 3 balls have left the entire stadium, counting Knighton's foul. Knighton's pretty versatile. She has been all over the batting order. And waves at that. Another good pitch. It's the strikeout.
Nice
That's her first strikeout.
And that's the thing we talked earlier about, just putting the ball in play and requiring a lot of defense to back you up. But that was a nice little strike three by Holman.
There's Grace Green. Started the game at first. Now the DP. Grounded out. Flew out to right. So, you talk about all the options that Oklahoma has with all their seniors. They got two freshmen on the lineup with Green and Lyons.
Both named Grace.
And the freshman's on a 10-game hitting streak right now. And is the team leader in stolen bases.
And there's that.
Whacked to first. Easy play for the Goose, who's gone back in at first base. Side retired. End of 5. It's still Oklahoma 7, Baylor 3. Good night to thank our men and women in uniform. Enjoying some first-class Big 12 softball. Watson up, lays the ball down, and runs it out. Now Watson, her first hit. And there's another example of kind of change of pace, shaking things up.
Well, it's just doing something to get on base. Try to get a rally started in that leadoff position. Watson just nice bat control. Dropped a bunt right in the tough spot and hustled down the line.
There's Krupit, who's got a great future. She's been swinging away and then put the ball in the play. She struck out looking to end the first, flew out to right in the fourth. And Krupit on our U20 team. Again, not a huge average hitter, but she is a power hitter. 7 bombs, 22 RBIs. Puts it in play again. There's another one. Home run number 8. A 2-run shot for the freshman from Suwanee, Georgia. And kids, this is a 7-5 ball game.
Depth in the circle. Patty Gasso can kind of mix and match. Anybody can start, anybody can close. They've got a lot of different looks. There's no clear rotation. Sale's one of those pitchers, 45 innings pitched. In 45 innings, she struck out 84 hitters and just has 9 walks.
She's the national leader in strikeouts per 7 innings. Of course, a lot of times she's the closer. A little advantage there. Another opportune transfer with the graduation of the Pages, Parker and Lowry. Sale came from Florida International.
This Oklahoma team is put together very well. You look at the 3 big stats: average, ERA, and fielding percentage. They stay at the top. They've been in the top 2. They stay in the top 3. And to tell you how rare that is, no team has finished in the top 3 in those 3 categories since 2001, and that was your Arizona squad that year. Jenny Finch.
She was good. Well, I remember seeing her come up to the Northwest after pitching the rain. She didn't mind. Sale will bring heat.
Heard a lot of groans in the stand. In the stands. That's a close pitch, tight pitch. And you know, Sale's relief in this game. She's going to figure out what she's going to get. She's kind of testing the edges of that zone, too. That's where you want to be as a pitcher.
The Goose is on the loose here. McGlon 1 for 2. Struck out. Singled and scored back in the 4th. Waves at that one. For strikeout for Sale.
And look at what strike 3 is. Saw her try to nibble around the outside of that corner, and then she finally throws that good hard curveball that runs out of the zone. And just not even, McGlon puts a cut on it, but it's out of reach.
Now, Sale is not afraid to take some chance. You saw that one ball get away up high, and that'll happen occasionally. And that ball is roped to left, but stays in the park. Hung up and put away by Reagan Rogers, who was a defensive replacement last inning. 2 down in the 6th. So Sale comes in, gets right to work. She got a start Sunday in the Utah doubleheader.
And that's what we're talking about. You know, it's really, I think, the pitcher's mentality and Coach Roach's mentality in handling them is to prepare them for anything. And listen, relief is different than starting. And you have to, sometimes you have to prepare yourself very differently for those situations. And I think this is a coaching staff that realizes the asset they have in the diversity of these pitchers. And they are just dead out performing. And to me, that's what you look for when you start to, you know, we're always asked to make predictions and who do you think is going to be there at the end and all of that. But that, to me, that's what you look for, is the well-roundedness. You can have somebody with a sub-1 ERA as a team, and if they can't score consistently, they're not going to be there on the last day.
Good coverage at first. Knighton goes and gets it. Side retired. But Baylor closes the gap. Single by Watson, and Krupitz, long one. It's 7-5 going to the bottom of the 6th. Sooners would like to add a little insurance here on the bottom of the 6th with Baylor's last ups coming up. Here's how the last inning ended. You will be the judge. Knighton, great cover on that ball.
Such a close play. It's the right call, but just by a fraction. And I'm going to tell you, you think it's easy to wear the blue out there. I'm telling you it's not. With the intensity these players play the game, pitching, catching, those types of plays, to get that call right is a testament to the quality of umpire you have out there. And I'm going to tell you somebody else on that play, Kaylee Clifton. It is not easy to continue going after a ball when a runner is coming full bore down the line. That ball got into the line a little bit, and Clifton hung right with it.
And she's running perpendicularly from second base, so she has to be careful she doesn't cross the runner. She had to stop and hold the glove up. Jocelyn Allo, the hitter. Big home run back in the 3rd. George, that's the difference in the game right now. 6 home runs last 12 games. And quickly 3-0. And again, here's the exercise you want. You have a lead. Final at bat coming for the visitor. Let's get some more runs. Let's not put our pitcher out there with just a 2-run lead.
Well, no doubt. And you look at the scoreboard. Baylor scored in 3 different innings. They've been very consistent. They are not hanging their heads coming into this ballpark. You better put as many as you can on the board.
Holman to first, one away. And you talked about the bottom of the order earlier. Everybody at the bottom of the order for Oklahoma has reached base. There's Lyons, who walked and scored on the second, flew out to right to end the third.
Well, there's no easy outs, but you flip the situation around, and you have Holman, who should also know very well that her team's got a lot of fight. She's trying to control these hitters, not let OU turn the lineup over, get to back to the top with Sydney Romero and Valeavu. Try to get her hitters back out on the field, because everything tells you, if you've watched this game, that they have a chance. It's been a really good ball game.
Yeah, both teams have swung the bat well.
And think about the pace, 12 runs.
Yeah.
We're in the 6th inning, and we're still under 2 hours, well under.
You know what else is nice? With all these freshmen on the game, no errors. There's the pitching whisperer for Baylor.
I remember Brittany Sneed standing in that circle. That was also a joy to watch. She was good.
Count now 3-1. One out, bottom 6th. Elam out on deck. She was pinch hit for a previous at bat, but re-entered behind the plate. And Lyons walks for the second time.
Lyons has a good eye. She has great patience at bat. Not too anxious, and that's another thing. I think a lot of times it takes some time to develop that patience and confidence. And Lyons, at a very young stage in her career, has it.
Lindsey Elam singled and scored on the second, and then was pinch hit for by Flores in the 4th. Elam 1 for 1, run scored. Lyons at first with 1 out. Fouled away, 0-2. 3-game set here. Sooners go to Kansas next week. And if Baylor can get something done here, they're home for the next 12.
I think that works in your favor too on all fronts, and specifically trying to get injured players better. They get to sleep in their own bed. They get to utilize the home training facility, and that's also a relief to just be at home when you already have the challenges.
Gets away a bit. 1-2. Holman approaching 100 pitches. And she's going to throw tomorrow, and she's going to throw on Sunday, most likely. The outs at first, 2 outs. Lyons advances to second. Put out by Dawson. And we talked a lot about Ellis out of position behind the plate. Dawson sliding into shortstop. Doing just fine tonight. Here's Mendez, the center fielder. walked in the second, and she was the one thrown out at third on Romero's RBI single to end that inning, and then grounded out in the fourth. Jackson takes ball one. Two now. Back. Well, just on the wrong side of the base. Otherwise, they'd have had her. Look at Ellis with that throwdown.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So for those of you who are joining late, Ellis is the typical day-to-day shortstop for Baylor. She moves behind the plate beginning right now, and she's not going to have any of that runner off the base too far. She's going to keep him honest.
Because Lyons is taking liberties. And Pettigasso called timeout to have a word with Lyons about the base running options. Ellis staring her down. I see you, number 3. For strike. Bears get out of this. They'll start the 7th with 7, 8, 9 in the order. Full count.
Can you tell we're in Norman?
Yeah. Well, you know, and Mendes had to lay off on that. There's no way you're going to get the bat around on it up there. Pay up pitch. To short. Nice grab. Nice throw. Inning over. Dawson Ellis out of position. It doesn't matter. Baylor hanging tough. Their last ups coming up. Don't worry, we will get you to Las Vegas for Friday Nitro Live. I didn't see any staging lights there in Norman. Last chance for the Baylor Bears here in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the order, Cross, Bauer, and Smith combined 0 for 5 plus a walk. And Shannon Sale looking to grab her 4th save of the year. Cross struck out looking in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd of the 5th. 0-2.
Sales looked really good in relief. She was in command last inning when she came in.
I like that face she gives the batter. It's kind of that, what are you looking at? I'm from Florida. This is how we do it. Kendall Cross is DP'd. Gone to first, back to DP in this game. Waves at strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Sale.
She does it that time with the off speed for strike 3. And she brings a lot of heat. She has a lot of weapons. Coach Rocha likes that pitch to drop off. She likes to see that ball dive in the zone, that changeup or off-speed pitch, either one, to have a little bit of a tail on it. Real effective.
Josie Bauer, whose number we've called quite a bit in the field tonight, lined out to first, struck out swinging in the 5th. One. 2. Saw the pitch signal by Jennifer Rocha. Thinks about it. 2-2. More looking at the lineup card. Put into play to short. Lions 2 down. And the Baylor Bears are down to their last out. Hannah Smith struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. Sale looking to finish the job. He starts with a strike.
Talk about game management, lineup management. Sale comes into this inning with 7, 8, and 9, and that's where she wants to leave it. She doesn't want to go back up to number 1 and be in that situation.
Now back. Bears down to their last strike. Sale has retired all 5 hitters she's faced. Sale has not given up an earned run in her previous 6 relief appearances. And now she's 1 strike away. And the Sooners 1 strike away from win number 33. There it is. Strikeout number 3 is swinging to end the game. And Baylor, with a great showing here, closes it to a 2-run margin, but the Sooners ride the power. 7 hits, 3 home runs, and a 7-5 victory in the first game of this 3-game set. So this shows you how good Big 12 conference softball is. Baylor has the pedigree. They're a little short-handed. They came in here and battled in the Friday game.
Oh, I think it's a great softball game all the way around. I think you got your money's worth this time. We saw the long ball. We saw some good pitching. OU taking a little bit of a dive into their pitching staff, bringing in Sale in relief. And Baylor, Coach Moore's got to be happy about the performance his team put up there.
Absolutely.
Hits the ball well, put a lot of runs on the board.
So Sale comes in, strikes out 3, retires all 6 hitters. We got more to come from Norman. Well, here's how it went tonight, starting in the very first inning. Guess who? Sydney Romero triples off the wall. And then it comes in to score on a sacrifice fly by Clifton. So right off the bat, Sooners doing what they do well and score. But Baylor was thinking yard off G. Juarez, and they get one right back in the 2nd inning. Taylor Ellis, again, sliding over to the catcher. Oh, it's 1-1. Hello, ball game. 2nd inning. Sooners get cranking. Hitting it hard. Triple by Clifton. Double by Knighton. Then in the 3rd. Now in the 3rd, it's Clifton's triple. Then the double by Knighton. And then Alo gets up. And you're going to see this ball go a long way. Out of the park.
Just a lot of consistency by OU. They scored in 4 of their 6 innings.
But Baylor was not done in the 4th. Taylor Ellis just over the fence. 2-run shot, her 2nd of the game. Played some McGlaughlin. It is 6-3. And what turned out to be a really important inning. Romero, who had tripled, singled. She didn't get a chance to hit for the cycle because she didn't get another at-bat. And in the 6th, Crouppen goes yard, 2-run shot. That was with nobody out, and that is where Oklahoma made the pitching change. And the door was closed by Sale after that. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Again, sparkling glove play. Baylor left 1 on base. Oklahoma won 2. This is a good series. You got 2 more games to check out this weekend. Sale, her 4th save of the year. And a perfect 15-0 for G. Juarez. It's a done deal from Norman. Oklahoma wins the first game of the series, 7-5. For Sherry Kemp, I'm Bob Acamia. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Big 12 Conference Softball. Good night from Oklahoma.